Large and listed real estate developers are now commanding real estate market in India. Is this good or bad for the housing sector? Is this helping or hurting the home buyers? After all, the large and listed players command a premium and add-on cost for the home buyers. I am Ravi Sinha, and evaluation of the real estate brands have never been as challenging in India as it is now. After all, the large and listed real estate developers across the country are exhibiting identical patterns with their performance. Nearly all the large and listed real estate developers are witness to their best ever fiscal top line as well as stock performance. The combined market share, fiscal performance and market cap of some 20 odd listed real estate companies would be more than half the revenue of Indian real estate today. Real estate, often referred to as localized business, has taken a tectonic shift in recent times as the large and listed developers have acceptance beyond their core geographies. The fiscal year 24-25 has been the defining moment for the bigger brands in the business. Facts speak for themselves. Nearly all the leading national brands are listed ones. The market share of national brands is more than 50% now. Nearly all the leading brands are witness to their best ever fiscal performance in the last 3 years. Stock performance of large and listed players is in sync with their fiscal top line. Nearly all the large and listed players have ventured out of their core geographies in the last 2-3 years. National brands are commanding premium in the range of 15 to 25%. Launch to sales ratio of large and listed players is way too higher than others. Client acquisition cost of large and listed players is lowest. National brands are attracting quality funds at competitive rates. It hence raises a fundamental question as to what differentiates the standing of the large and listed players in the market. If they are all at the peak of their business cycle, how are they competing against each other in the given micro markets? More importantly, how would a property buyer evaluate their brand ranking and market standing to understand the justified premium that each brand is commanding? The answer lies with the consumer connect. Consumer touch points are very sensitive zones for the real estate companies. It is here that most of the sincere corporate philosophy at the boardroom level is crushed, and the well-intentioned corporate conglomerates, otherwise respectable brands, wonder why their overall brand goodwill does not get translated into the business of real estate. Godrej is a classic case in this. Expanding beyond core geographies present both opportunities and risks. The previous experience during the market slowdown have taught several critical lessons, like the need for market research and due diligence, phased development, partnerships and joint ventures, diversified portfolio, organizational structure, operational efficiency, cost management, brand trust, and customer experience. By leveraging these strategies, large developers are better equipped to manage the complexities of expanding into new territories, capitalizing on growth opportunities while mitigating potential risks. The question is whether the sector in its collective consciousness is mindful of the ground reality. बिजनेस की बात तो सब करते हैं, लेकिन क्या मीडिया का रोल महज कंपनीज के प्रॉफिट और लॉस अकाउंट का हिसाब रखना रह गया है? कितनी इन्वेंट्री सेल हुई, कितना बिजनेस में आया इन्वेस्टमेंट, इन सब की बहस के बीच पूछता है आम आदमी, इसमें मेरे लिए क्या है? कहीं ऑल्टरनेटिव मीडिया भी इंस्टीट्यूशनल मीडिया की तरह गॉसिपिंग करते हुए अपनी क्रेडिबिलिटी तो नहीं खोता जा रहा है? जाने अनजाने कहीं हर कंटेंट क्रिएटर बिल्डर की पीआर प्रोपेगेंडा का हिस्सा तो नहीं बनता जा रहा है? कौन करेगा हाशिए पर खड़े आम आदमी के काम की बात? सब्सक्राइब कीजिए ट्रैक टू रियलिटी यूट्यूब चैनल। यहां होती है आपके मतलब की बात। There are certain questions that need to be delved deeper. Question number 1. Expansion beyond core geographies had earlier hit many large developers in the wake of slowdown. Now that they are again expanding their geographical footprint, what are the lessons learned and what is the hedge strategy? Question number 2, which is more important from the consumer standpoint. Can a handful of large and listed players serve the pan-India housing demand? What is the public perception about this? A pan-India survey by Track2 Realty finds that what is driving the large and listed developers is the trust of home buyers. In other words, there is a visible lack of trust with the smaller developers with no brand reputation. Most of these buyers believe that the legacy brands that are mostly but not limited to large and listed ones have better consumer connect and processes to deal with. This also raises a pertinent question: whether the success of large and listed real estate developers commanding consumer goodwill is a threat to regional developers with limited footprint. Empirical evidence does not seem to support this argument. Many of the regional brands, often non-listed ones, are giving a threat to the national brands in their core geographies. Of course, there are exceptions in terms of the these are exceptions. In terms of the other side of brands with limited footprint, we find only a few names worth mention. Of course, this is with a caveat that these mentions are not buy-sell recommendations from our side. For example, Ambuja Neotia is a giant in Kolkata market. Consumer Realty is a giant in Pune market. County Group is a giant in Noida market. This success of regional strong brands also puts to rest the critical question as to whether there is an ecosystem issue for the brands to perform. And this question comes because most of the top national brands are coming out of Bengaluru and Mumbai market. But then these regional brands in not so conducive markets like say Noida prove that the consumer-centric brands have higher CSAT, consumer satisfaction score, irrespective of the ecosystem. So while it is true that the large and listed players are commanding the market, they are dominating the Indian real estate, their size is not the differentiator. The real differentiator is the developer's willingness to address the consumer touch points, and the success stories like Ambuja Neotia or Panchsheel Realty or in Noida County Group is a case in point. As a home buyer, when you go on a house hunt, the natural urge would be to go to these bigger brands, these large and listed players, if you can afford to pay premium for that. But be mindful of the regional players who are equally good in that given market. I just rest my case. Thanks for watching.